There comes a time in the history of nations when we will all be judged on whether or not we took a stand for life.
That's right.
Now is that time. The Senate will vote on defunding Planned Parenthood before we go home in August.
We spend more time in this building talking about horse slaughter and the humane treatment of animals at SeaWorld than we do about children that are in the womb, and that has got to stop.
45 past the hour. That was Republican Senators Rand Paul and James Lankford speaking outside the Capitol building against Planned Parenthood. Later today, the Senate will vote on a bill introduced by Paul to defund the Women's Health Group. Senator Lankford, who is co-sponsoring the bill, joins us now from Oklahoma City. Good to have you on board this morning, sir.
Senator, what's the likelihood that Planned Parenthood will ever be defunded?
You know what? We're about to find out at least the first step today. We're trying to open up an ongoing conversation with the United States to say, is this really where we want to spend taxpayer dollars? And is this really how it needs to be taken care of in such an incredibly divisive issue?
So are you doing
so
it
we're going to continue to lay this out.
Are you doing this to have a debate, an open debate, when you know that at the end of the day, Planned Parenthood is still going to be funded?
Well, today starts that debate on it, Joe. You know extremely well the different Senate rules. We have 325,000 abortions are done by Planned Parenthood every year. Today we open up debates called a cloture vote, and we'll have see if we can get 60 people to be able to get onto the bill and be able to have that ongoing debate.
And what if you don't?
Well, what if we don't? Then we just keep moving. This has been an ongoing issue for quite a while. I can tell you a lot of Americans are very, very upset about so much of their tax dollars going towards this organization that provides so many abortions.
Right.
But this is not a new issue, as you know well, and as I know well.
Well, you know, Meek and I said on Friday, whether you're pro-choice or pro-life, we both of us don't really understand why Planned Parenthood gets taxpayer funding with all the abortions they perform when 50% of Americans are dead set against it, or maybe 45%, if whatever the number is. But at the same time, I don't want the government to be shut down over this fight. Is there a chance the government could be shut down over funding of Planned Parenthood?
And is that worth
it? This is not trying to find a government shutdown. It's fascinating to me. You know, I've came over from the House, and where Democrats accused us over and over again because we're in the minority in the Senate to say you're trying to shut the government down over every fight. It's fascinating to me. As soon as I got to the Senate, we were in the majority. Immediately, Democrats started saying, you're trying to get another government shutdown again, and it's just interesting politics. That this is not about shutdown. This is about children. We have children with fingers and toes and hearts and livers and lungs that have literally being torn apart and being sold piece by piece, where it seems fairly apparent that they've changed the timing, the method, and the procedure to be able to harvest organs. That's illegal to do that on a federal offense. It's not just the sale, but the timing, method, and procedure. If you change that to actually harvest organs, that's not legal. So there are major concerns there, and a lot of people are extremely concerned about this basic issue.
All right,
is that a life? And is it a life and it should be protected? I would say it must.
Mark Halpern,
Senator, you've been able to talk about your view of the funding of Planned Parenthood. I just want to ask you, on the other side of the equation, for some of the supporters of Planned Parenthood, can you describe, to your knowledge, what Planned Parenthood does beyond perform abortions, and how you would make sure that those services that don't involve abortion would still be available to women, particularly less well-off women around the country?
Sure. Yeah. Planned Parenthood talks a lot about abortion. Just one of the things they do. They are the single largest provider of abortion in the country, with 325,000 abortions a year they do. But they also provide cancer screenings. They also provide contraceptives to those that are in poverty. There's all kinds of other services they provide. So what we have done is said we'll take that funding that was provided to Planned Parenthood and transition it to community health centers. There are about 650 or so Planned Parenthood clinics around the country. There are 9,000 community health centers around the country. They actually provide full-service health care to lots of folks in poverty around the country, including contraceptives, including not just the screenings, but actually the initial treatment as well. And so we're trying to take that funding and make sure it continues to get to poverty and to those that absolutely need it the most. And so that's the transition of funds, to say we're not going to fund the nation's single largest provider of abortion. We're going to try to provide a place where they actually do ongoing women's health care.
All right, Senator James Lankford, thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator.
Good to be able to visit with y'all.
Thank you. Coming up, the latest on the mystery